Hello, welcome back to the Good, Bad and Stupid News. It's Wednesday, August the 21st, and this is episode 23. I'm going to give them episode numbers now because I'm losing track of where I am and referencing and things like that. God, that's another thing I've got to do, organise. I'm not very good at organising, so it's not my forte, so they say. And I've been telling people that the podcast is on iTunes, but it's not on iTunes at the moment, so there you go, organisation gone wrong. It will be on iTunes. I'm waiting 2 or 3 4 days, so I will actually mention when it's back on iTunes. It's still on Podbean, so if you want to listen to it, it's on thegoodthebadandthestupid.podbean.com. But it will be in all the other places as well eventually, so I'm going to get straight on with today's news. Loads to go through. Going to hit the headlines first, get this one out of the way. The Prince, what's he called? Prince Andrew. He's the pilot on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, has said that he has flew with him many times to flew with Epstein and his so-called 17-year-old sex slave to the US Virgin Islands, where Epstein has a private island, which he apparently has for untoward goings on. Let's say that. And you got to wonder why. I mean, if you're on a plane, in my opinion, if you're on a plane or you're knocking about with a guy and he's got a 17-year-old sort of companion, one, that's questionable anyway. Two, you're flying around with him. So many times the guy said so. You're flying around with him, so it's not like you've got this kind of moral compass out by any means, and you're flying to an island where there's no access by anybody else, and people say there's untoward goings on there. So it's about as, you can paint the picture in any which way you like, but it sounds very, very kind of murky. Again, I said that the other day. But anyway, that's never going to go away. This is like someone's going to bring out. When's there going to be some kind of thing called the Prince and the Pedo? Or was that one already came out? That's a good title for a book or something, isn't it? But I was watching something on the news night last night, and Epstein's lawyer, who the girl has come out and said that she had sex with 5 or 6 times on Epstein's orders, was on there kind of giving his little bit of defence on Newsnight, giving an interview, and he's obviously shitting himself because he's come out to give an interview to a TV company in England, BBC. He's basically just setting out his defence, but then he was asked, well, why, if you once you found out that he was what he was, sex offender or whatever else, why did you defend him? And because he defended him and got him a lighter sentence, but he said, I've defended lots of people who were, unsavoury characters as such. I mean, this was the guy who was his friend, but I've defended lots of people who were unsavoury as such. I once defended a guy who lined up a bunch of Buddhist monks and murdered them, and I got him off. And I thought that was like the fucking worst accolade to give yourself. He said he successfully got a guy off who was a bad guy that had murdered a number of Buddhist monks, and he got him off. And he said that in some way of painting him to be, I don't know if he's painting himself to be some kind of a good person. Obviously he's saying that he defends bad people as well as good people, but he didn't have to tell us that he got them off. He got off like some fucking guy who was guaranteed, who was a definite murderer. Anyway, he was on there shitting himself, and you wonder why he did defend Epstein after he came out, obviously, because he's in court, and you wonder whether Epstein's pulling his strings and that, isn't he? Because he's fucking got him tied up with the situation before, and now he's going, I want you, get me off this charge. if you don't get me off this charge, you're going down, or you're going to be, he's pulling their strings, isn't he? So now they're all shitting it, and I wonder where it's all going to lead. Not really that interested in it, really, but I'm here to read the headlines, so and that one's always the main one. So there you go. Go talk about Prince Andrew. I wonder what his mum's saying to him every now and then. She's like asking him on the sly, just fucking tell me what's going on, You tell me what's going on. Is anything untoward going on? Because this shit's gonna come down on all of us. And he's going, no, honest, mum, didn't do anything. Right, let's move on. Well, here's another dark subject. Let's move on to knife crime. Victim survives a zombie knifing. I just pulled this out quickly before I move on, and it was just to show that a blade went somebody stabbed somebody, as is the fucking standard. It's almost normal to hear that now, isn't it? But the blade went so deep it had to be removed on the operating table. Now that's how deep it went. Obviously you can't see this on the podcast, but look, that's his hips there. Look at that knife. That's almost like fucking raw. That's almost like cut him in half, that has. And that is the knife. That is a fucking knife. Just to go to prison for, just based on carrying that knife in it. But I only pulled it out because, it was all over fucking next to nothing as well. But I only pulled it out because the guy who stabbed the guy was given, wait for it, a 2-year rehabilitation order. A 2-year rehabilitation order, I repeat. So that is fucking next to nothing, or next to no. He was guilty of unlawful wounding and possessing a firearm. I don't know if they're calling the knife the firearm, but he was given a 2-year rehabilitation order. So if that's your fucking sentences you're dishing out, then no wonder shit's going fucking, crazy. If you got to have fucking tougher sentences. But people go to prison for, I know people who've punched somebody and they've gone to prison, or got a stiffer sentence than that. This geezer's nearly sawed somebody in half. So I suppose it depends on the fucking judge on the day, doesn't it, really? The guy the civil servant that was stabbed outside the Home Office, talking of stabbings again, just got to get off this dark subject, that guy there. Well, he went back to prison. He went back to work the next day after being stabbed in the face, pretty much. But he pretty much said he didn't want it to. He wanted to get straight back to normal. He should have milked it a little bit, shouldn't he? Took a bit of time off. He had been stabbed in the face. He probably could have fucking been on sick leave for. He could have milked that. He could have had months off work. I'm just looking at it from, he's missed a trick there. He should have took it and get your compensation, take your months off work. But I suppose he's thinking, what I'm going to do? Sit at home, probably would be depressed, go off with depression. He would be depressed sitting at home. So he's gone back to work the very next day after being stabbed in the face outside. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. It's bad enough. But I don't know. He's got it. He found it good enough to go back to work. So good for him. I'd have took a fucking 6 months off if I was him. Right, let's get on to something more light-hearted. Flatulence. If there's anything more light-hearted than that, flatulence formula for the funniest fart in the world. So the world's funniest fart sounds messy, lasts for 4 seconds, and is embarrassing, scientists say. So scientists have been, I don't know how long they've spent on this, they've studied 176 different types of fart noises, ranging from the common quack and the cheeky squeaker, so they give them names as well, and the show-stopping thunder blunder. That's a tongue twister. So a team led by neuroscientists had to statistically analyse results on a public vote. So they've gone round asking people what their favourite sounding fart is. So great. I wonder how much that study cost and how that's going to benefit us in the future. well, there you go. Food for thought. Maybe anybody watching this now can have a good think about what your favourite fart noise is, and discuss it with your partner. Maybe work out between you which is who's got the, what's it called, the funniest out the two of them, or if you're not a farter. Do you fart? Don't you fart? Okay, let's move on. Antonio Banderas has had a heart attack. I didn't realise Antonio Banderas had a heart attack. He's been put to good use in a new film, Pain and Glory, but he looks all right considering he's had a heart attack. But he said that he's actually in a film. He's had a heart attack. He said it was really depressing. It's fucking, you know, he was saying, why me? And he was all really down and whatever else. But then he's got this film role where he kind of could channel all that misery, if you like, and you know, problems and all the feelings or whatever. It was kind of perfect, I suppose, and he's channeled it into the film, or the acting, if you like, almost like method acting, isn't it? And it's actually won him the best actor in the Cannes Film Festival this year. So there you go. Every cloud, if you like, has a silver lining. So he's basically, and then he said it's probably one of the happiest times in his life as a professional, because you feel like you're touching on the truth of what your career is about. So there you go. Maybe you haven't been digging the method acting before now, but it worked for him there, didn't it? Might go on and win the Oscar. There you go. Heart attack to Oscar. Then write the book. Okay, now we ain't gonna get rid of him, are we? Antonio Banderas. Well, at least he's still with us. What was the film I liked him in? Is it the Mexican? Something like that. The one with the fucking machine gun in a violin case. He's pretty cool in that one. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to a theme park in Germany, which has had to close this new ride. Theme park in Germany has had to close a new ride after being told it looked like a flying swastika. The shape of the attraction's spinning carriage arms and seats made it look like the Nazi symbol as it rotated, and they're having to take it down and change it. And at first glance, I was trying to work out what they're on about, but like you can see straight away there, can't you? You can see that is too. Imagine them; they're like rotating. Oh, that's like a rotating fucking swastika, isn't it? So they're all big, bold, and whatever else, right in the sky. That's a right fucking faux pas, isn't it? Design. I bet somebody's head's rolling for that. Design flaw. Right. How did we accidentally build a big fucking swastika of a flying swastika theme park ride? They could have stuck with it, and you know, no, you couldn't. They couldn't. It's illegal. You can't, especially in Germany. Morrisons are being given shit because they've raised the price of plastic bags to 30p each, and everyone's got fucking the knickers in a twist about it. 30p for a carrier bag, somebody tweeted. Morrisons, really? What next? A rental charge for the shopping trolley? Who would really go home and tweet that, you know what I mean? Because you're making yourself look fucking, you know, fucking like that's the most trivial thing to go home and like make it like the thing of the day that's wound you up. A 30p plastic bag charge. It's a good thing, isn't it? It's stopping people. I think the 5p charge, I was surprised that the 5p charge had any effect at all on reduction of plastic anyway, but it did apparently. There's obviously loads of type people who find 5p really hard to part with. So 30p, it's going to make a massive difference, isn't it? So, you know, I'm all for it. What I want to see, if you want my opinion, Morrisons, if you're watching, is paper bags. What's wrong with paper bags? I like the old, you know, like in the films where they're in New York and that, when they get the groceries and they got them in a brown paper bag. They've been doing it for fucking years over them places. Paper bags, people know how to bloody pack them. and they just have to carry them out one by one, or put them in a trolley, and they cost next to nothing, don't they? Recycled paper. Come on, get on board. Miley Cyrus was seen romping in a bar with her new squeeze US reality star Caitlyn Carter. After, I don't even know who that is. After calling time on her short marriage to Liam Hemsworth. Short marriage. I thought they were together forever, or they just got married short. They've been together about 10 years. I thought I read the other day. Anyway, she's been basically, spotted having sex at the packed private members club. They were all over each other on the yacht in Italy this month, and now they're at it in this private members club. I think they were kissing and making out everywhere, in the bathroom, at the bar, in the middle of the floor, anywhere, the cynic in me is going to say, where there's lots of people with camera phones and whatever else, and there's photographs and whatever else. So do you think anybody's trying to raise their profile at all there, or what? You don't have to be rolling around the floor and fucking, oh look, there's people there, give us a snog, or do this, let's do that over there, we're fucking, let's get attention seeking, isn't it? Puffing on e-cigarettes now could give you a heart attack. Public Health of England advises vaping as a tool to quit fags. Leaves you vulnerable to heart attack because it can cause significant damage. Produce toxic particles. I can't work out what it basically, you're at risk of a heart attack if you're using vapes. I pulled that out because everybody's doing them now, aren't they? And I tried them when I was giving up smoking. I remember I smoked 20 e-cigarettes. I think I smoked 20 of them in about 2 days. Well, I didn't realise that each one of them was the equivalent of 60 cigarettes worth of nicotine. So I smoked God knows how many equivalent. I was sick as a dog. I was after 2 days, didn't touch them again. I smoked about equivalent of about 1,000 fags in 2 days. No wonder I was sick as a dog. I didn't realise that, I thought you just sat and just puffed on them, which I was, but I was chuffing on them too much because they're quite nice, aren't they? I thought it was like those shisha pipes. Anyway, Ricky Hatton, moving on. Ricky Hatton has been filmed staggering around a Tenerife bar. Fans fear for the boozed up star because he's been spotted stumbling around a Tenerife bar with a t-shirt over his head. Well, he's on holiday, isn't he? He's on holiday. That's what most people are doing in Tenerife. Most fucking pissed up English dudes anyway, so he probably don't stand out in the crowd there. But people are saying they're fearing for his life or fearing for his health. He's on holiday. Let's talk about if he's doing it when he's back here. If he's on a break and he pissed out his brains, that's up to him, isn't it? The only time you're going to fear for his health is if he falls over with that t-shirt over his head and fucking goes over a balcony or something. So, yeah, I suppose you've got to be worried for his health then. Cut 2 holes in his t-shirt. Be alright then, won't he? Time is it? Okay, invasion of the slugs. I'll pull this out because I've got a relevant to this as well. Mum Kerry Rumble stays awake all night battling to stop her home being invaded by slugs. She says the pests have targeted her kitchen between midnight and 5 AM every day for a month. And I tell you what, I stayed in a place once and I can as soon as I read that, it took me back. I almost felt like I was right back in the room. But I was harassed by a gang of slugs once in a room I was staying in, and it's right between 10 and 5 AM in the morning. They'd come out, but you wouldn't see them. You just turn the light on and there'd be fucking skid marks all over the floor. And it was like fucking putting salt and everything around. And then she's saying there she's found one in a kettle. and whatever else. They just come out, but they're slow as anything. When you see one, they don't move, do they? But you try and find them in the middle of the night. You turn the lights on, they've gone, but they've been and done like a scale electrics all the way around the room. And I once found one in my mug that I at the side of the bed, which I was about to take a swig out of, and I saw it as the water was, and my eyes were there. I just saw the big black thing at the bottom of the cup just before I took the swig, which is fucking lucky because I nearly swallowed the thing. So yeah, that's pretty creepy. But invasion of the slugs, I thought I was going to get fucking eaten by them. I moved out of that place sharpish. So yeah, I feel for you. What's your name? Kerry? Get out of there if I was you. A pharmacy used by the Queen is selling pills made out of the Berlin Wall. That's right. Somebody's mid claims that they boost relationships and break down emotional barriers. The homeopathic treatment is produced with ground down concrete from the former partition mixed with lactose and water. What's he say? I don't know what the fuck all that is. It makes no medical claims, but one blog said the pills could treat people who erect barriers. Fucking, there's a pun on it there, isn't it? To keep others at bay. Another boasted, this remedy has empowered many patients to break free from years of violent abuse. So what they kind of using it as some kind of connect between the struggles of when the Berlin Wall was up and your mental struggles. Homeopaths believe a spiritual force from the wall which split in East and West Berlin would help users. And somebody else has said there is no credibility or sense, there's no reliable evidence that the Berlin Wall has any health effects. Of course it doesn't, does it? You're eating fucking concrete. There's no health. I can state right here, right now, as not a scientist, that eating a wall is not going to be any beneficial to your health. It's a mental thing, isn't it? I guess it's like, if you want to believe it, then it's the placebo effect, isn't it? So have it that way, unless you're allergic to fucking eating concrete, and then you're going to go down the other way now. So yeah, if you want to go over to the Berlin Wall, bring back some and sell it down the club. Or whatever else, whoever else who might be into the Berlin Wall by then. Prosthetic legs made from plastic water bottles by a Leicester scientist cost £10 instead of the usual £5,000. They haven't gave his name or anything there, but if you need a prosthetic leg, you're gonna have to find him because they haven't left his name or anything there because they're not giving you anything away. But he's selling them for £10, so. Obviously they're made out of plastic water bottles, but that's recycled. So dig him out, save yourself £4,900. You can go to Berlin then, buy some Berlin Wall pills. Zoe Kravitz is all hot and bothered about a trend for people Botoxing their armpits to stop them sweating. Only in Hollywood. That is the dumbest, scariest thing I've ever heard, said the big little guy. Sweating is key. Yeah, well. So why don't they just spray on that's like an antiperspirant? That's exactly the same thing, isn't it? So people are Botoxing their armpits to stop them sweating. So that's going to cause all kinds of shit, that isn't it? So don't try that at home unless you're Simon Cowell, who's Botox fucking mental at the moment. If you saw that picture the other day, some people are just crazy. You've seen that guy called Kendall, who calls him the Ken doll. He's like addicted to the surgery, isn't he? He's obviously not seeing what we're seeing. He's seeing something completely different. So that's a mental thing. I think you need some Berlin Wall pills, right? Anything that you can pretend will give yourself trigger something in your head that fucking wakes you up, makes you realise what the fuck you're doing before it's too late. Right, rambling. A couple were incensed after they received a drinks bill labelled, you know, like in Costa Coffee and that, where they give you your, when you're in the queue and they write your name on it and stuff like that. They received theirs and somebody had wrote on there, the old people. So they're not too happy about it. I mean, fuck me, she's 80. So, you know, somebody's apologised to her, but in a room full of people, I suppose they just like, you know, they could have said the ginger. What else was they writing on all the other ones? The ginger guy, the black guy, the girl with the glasses, the fucking guy with all the plastic surgery face. You're the old couple. So, you know, don't knock it. You're still old, you're still here. Drink your coffee and get over it. Where are we? Got a couple more things to do here. Police have been given tasers. I should have done this one earlier. Police have been given tasers. Every frontline officer is response to a sickening trend of attacks. So they're all being. I thought they all had them. Policemen have only just been given tasers. They've only just been trusted with fucking tasers each. That's like a given. I want a taser if I'm going to be in the police. I want every available. Well, you can't have a gun, but I want everything but. Kung Fu lessons as well. I want fucking all that jazz. But yeah, it's going to take them 18 months to train up on a taser. You don't need 18 months, do you? It's just like out the holster, bang, shoot. It's like fucking, you don't need 18 months of training to do that. You probably need 18 months of training to write up the report because you fucking shot somebody. That's the pain in the arse about it. You got to explain everything that you've done. The mother of Nick Knowles' new girlfriend has hit out at the couple's 30-year age gap. I don't know how he does it, Nick Knowles. He's always rolling around with the new squeeze on his arm, and he's got them DIY skills, is it? Like, he knows how to fucking what's it called? Put a skirting board on. Is that like is that the attraction? You know, I'm shit at DIY, so, but he's doing something right or wrong in her parents' eyes anyway. So they ain't too happy about it. And he certainly weren't doing something. He certainly can't be his country and western album that he brought out. Sorry, Nick, but. I don't think that won't even get off the get in the charts. I don't know. I think he brought one out at the same time as Alfie Moon. There was about 4 people: Jason Manford, Alfie Moon, and they all come out with, one was classical, one was country and western, and one was blues or something or other. But just had like this kind of rush of comedians and TV people who want to bring up that, you know, desire to be a singer that they've once had. So, oh well, fair play to them. No, I wouldn't listen to it. Former Marine. Oh, I'm going to finish up on this last one now. Have I got another one there? Oh no, I've got to finish up on these last 2. A former Marine is aiming to be the first man to climb the highest mountain carrying a rowing machine. Of course, you're going to be the first man to be carrying. You're going to be the first man to climb Europe's highest mountain carrying a rowing machine. Well, you fucking got that 100%. You don't even have to check, because nobody would have carried a rowing machine anywhere, I imagine. So that's the way. If you want to break a record, just think of something fucking totally random off your head, off the top of your head. And just do that, because nobody's going to have done it. So he's carrying it up the top of a mountain, but he's doing it to raise money for charity for people with PTSD and whatever else. So I'm not dissing him. Raise some money, give him some money, find the guy, rowing machine guy, Guinness Book of Records, and give him some money. But he's saying, I hate rowing, but I believe you just got to face your fears and take it head on. So he's kind of like trying to justify that shit idea then, but still, never mind. He's raising money for good cause, so there you go. Rowing machine man. Last thing we're going to do is a woman has been accused of setting fire to a man's house after he allegedly invited her over for a late night sex session, but he fell asleep. Oh, this is a bit, it's not that funny, but I mean, she fucking was that pissed off waiting outside. She set fire to his house. He survived, otherwise this wouldn't be in the new, I wouldn't finish on this, but it's a bit fucking out of order, isn't it? So you invited him over for a shag or whatever, and he fell asleep, and she's fucking, you know, I don't know if she tried to kill him or whatever, but she was obviously screaming through the door. Maybe a fag was shouting through the letterbox. If the fag caught the net curtain on the inside, and the fucking curtain went up and whatever else. Who knows? It's a bit harsh if you ask me, so be careful out there when you're calling over your booty calls and whatever else. Don't piss them off. Alright, I'm going to leave it there before I dig myself a bigger hole with that one. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been Wayne Lawrence. Going to see you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.